Hi, good morning everyone. I am here to continue on eukaryotic gene expression regulation. In previous video, I was talking about DNA supercoiling, how it regulates DNA or gene expression. That negative supercoiling that plays very important role in the expression of genes. That was proven by scientists both in vitro as well as in vivo. In this video, I am going to talk about how DNA methylation can regulate eukaryotic gene expression. Here, DNA methylation is another control point related to nucleosome structure or DNA structure. Control is exerted at the level of nucleosome structure. So what is methylation? Methylation is nothing but transfer of methyl group, right? Here in DNA we have 4 bases: adenine, guanine, thymine and cytosine. Cytosine mainly accepts methyl group, right? Cytosine, once it accepts methyl group and also specifically at 5th position, and that becomes 5-methyl cytosine. Here, biochemically, if you see, consider this is cytosine. So, first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth carbon atoms. So, here, this carbon atom, the 5th carbon atom, is susceptible for accepting methyl group. Here, methyl donor is S-adenosyl methionine, and it becomes S-adenosyl homocysteine upon transferring methyl group to cytosine. As I mentioned, cytosine receives methyl group at 5th position, that becomes 5-methyl cytosine. Right? This methyl group is transferred from SAM. Right? SAM is nothing but a methyl donor. Here, in human genome, if you consider 1.5% of genomic DNA is in methylated form. Right? It's in methylated form, and also as I mentioned, cytosine residues are involving in methylation. Another important thing here is cytosines that precede guanines. They play important role in the methylation process. It's like CpG. C is cytosine and G is guanine. CpG, we call the DNA region that is rich in CpG motif, we call CpG highlands, right? Here, this cytosine accepts methyl group, right? Then what is the function of methylation, DNA methylation? Whether it suppresses gene expression or it upregulates gene expression. Generally, methylation that downregulates transcriptional activity. Right? Methylation downregulates transcriptional activity. So this transcriptional activity downregulated, that depends on the increased frequency of CpG. That CpG motif or CpG island can be methylated. Right? That methylation exerts its effect in downregulating transcriptional activity. The enzymes that are involved in the transfer of methyl groups are DNMTs or DNA methyl transferases. DNMTs are DNA methyl transferases. Here, these DNMTs, we have some types of DNMTs, DNMT1, 3A, 3B. These are very well studied and characterized. They involved in DNA methylation pattern, maintaining DNA methylation pattern. Other 2 enzymes, DNMT2 and 3L, they are also involved in related function. Here, I mentioned that methylation, increased frequency of CpG that is vulnerable for methylation, that suppresses transcriptional activity. How? So what is the mechanism? There are several scientific reports on DNA methylation, how it can suppress gene expression regulation in eukaryotes. there is an important protein, MACP2, methyl CpG binding protein 2, right? MACP2 is nothing but methyl CpG binding protein 2. This MACP2 specifically binds to methylated DNA, right? Increased methylation of DNA, there is increased expression of MACP2 that binds to methylated DNA. It not only binds to methylated DNA, it can also suppress transcriptional activity because it has, what is it, other motifs as well. If you look into the structure of MACP2, this is a general structure of MACP2 protein. You can see here in blue MBD, that is methyl DNA binding domain. MBD is methyl binding domain. And here AT, that AT hook region, they say AT hook domain. These two domains plays important role in directly interacting with DNA, right? Other domains, TRD. TRD is nothing but transcriptional repression domain. That means MACP2 directly binds to methylated DNA, right? And hooks through AT domain, right? Apart from these two, TRD, the transcription repression domain, that can repress the transcription. If you see here, NID, that is NCOR SMERT interaction domain. NCOR is nothing but nuclear co-repressor. Nuclear co-repressor or nucleosome co-repressor. This nuclear co-repressor or SMERT that plays important role in the suppression of gene expression, because these NCOR and SMERT, they interact with deacetylase, histone deacetylase, that we are going to discuss in future classes, right? That means MACP2 not only binds to methylated DNA through other domains like TRD and NID, it is going to suppress transcriptional activity. This MACP2 is very important in the development. There are several studies that MACP2 non-functional MACP2 that leads to Rett disease, Rett syndrome. Rett syndrome that is related to brain. I am not going to discuss on that, but we have several scientific research articles. If you are interested, you can just enter Rett syndrome. You will get a lot of articles on that. So, methylation, generally it suppresses transcriptional activity. Whether this methylation, DNA methylation, has any general significance or physiological significance, right? Here DNA methylation, it suppresses transcriptional activity via MACP2. Similarly, whether this DNA methylation has any general significance or physiological significance, yes, it has. Although it is unclear, there are some instances that DNA methylation plays very important role. One such thing is genomic imprinting, right? Or allelic exclusion. What is that genomic imprinting? Genomic imprinting, if you consider a diploid cell, in animal diploid cell that contains maternal allele and paternal allele. One allele from mom and another allele from dad. In generally, in diploid cell, both alleles are active. That means they contribute equally to the gene expression. In some cases, that is in imprinting genes, either maternal allele is expressed or paternal allele is expressed, not both. If maternal allele is expressed, paternal allele is downregulated, right? Inactive. If paternal allele is active, maternal allele is inactive. So that's why in genomic imprinting, there are some imprinting genes, that H19 gene, I'll come to that, what is that H19 gene, and IGF2, insulin like growth factor 2, that is also imprinting gene. Here H19 gene, that is maternally active. H19 gene expressed through maternal allele and paternal allele is inactive. In the case of IGF2, it is through paternal allele. Another important thing you study in your immunology in third semester, remember heavy chain and light chain. Heavy chain and light chain rearrangement, right, in immunoglobulins. That involves allelic exclusion. What is that allelic exclusion? Again, diploid B cell, during B cell development, so there is a development of immunoglobulins that involves either maternal gene allele or paternal allele, not both. Okay? To explain with pictorial representation, here, when you consider egg that has a chromosome or allele, right, that has a region of H19, right? In egg, this is the region of H19, and sperm, this is the region of H19, right? When they unite, that gives zygote, right? Zygote. Here, as I mentioned, H19 is maternally active. That means maternal allele is active, that can be expressed, but paternal allele is inactive. How? By methylation. So here, the CH3 group is added. That means methyl group is added to the H19 gene region, that is inactivated. Right? In zygote, this maternal allele is only active and paternal allele is inactive. Right? So this H19, that is a 2.3 kb size, the gene, and it is non-coding. That generates non-coding RNA. It doesn't code for any protein, but that plays very important role in embryogenesis and it controls cell proliferation. Right? So these are DNA methylation plays very important role in genomic imprinting. Right? In the case of B cell development, here stem cells are differentiated or developed into B cells. During antibody development, see here light chain, right, and heavy chain. In this developing B cell, the heavy chain or light chain that are from either paternal or maternal, not both. See here, if you consider this is a paternal allele codes for heavy chain of immunoglobulin. This is maternal allele for heavy chain codes for heavy chain, right? Here paternal allele is active because that heavy chain region, gene region is not methylated. In the case of maternal allele, that region is methylated. That means B cell development or antibody synthesis through either maternal or through paternal, not both. It doesn't mean that if you consider whole human body or animal, individual animal, all B cells are expressing immunoglobulins through paternal only. No, it's not. If one cell is expressing heavy chain through paternal allele, another B cell can express heavy chain or light chain through maternal. But if you consider single B cell or individual B cell, it doesn't, not both maternal or paternal alleles are active. Okay, so this is very important during the development of the B cells that produce immunoglobulins. Another important aspect of DNA methylation pattern, that is in human malignancies. Here I forgot to mention one thing. Here DNA methylation pattern that can be transferred from parents to offspring. That is nothing but epigenetics that we are going to discuss in future classes, right? What is epigenetics? that DNA methylation pattern transfers from parents to offspring with fidelity, right? So this DNA methylation, as I mentioned, plays very important role in human malignancies. Normally, if you consider, forget about malignancies, normally we have oncogenes and tumor suppressor genes. Example P53. Oncogenes are kept silent by hypermethylation. Right? Oncogenes are kept silent by hypermethylation because upon methylation, transcriptional activity is reduced. Right? So in normal physiological condition, oncogene is kept inactive by hypermethylation. Meantime, tumor suppressor gene is demethylated or hypomethylated. The gene is kept hypomethylated so that it can be expressed. Right? Here, lower expression of oncogene and higher expression of tumor suppressor gene. That is in normal condition. If this hypermethylation or hypomethylation is dysregulated, that leads to human malignancies. During human malignancies, several human malignancies, that means cancer, there will be hypermethylation of tumor suppressor gene. What happens upon hypermethylation? That P53 gene expression is downregulated. Hypomethylation of oncogene. Instead of hypermethylation of oncogene, during malignancies, there is hypomethylation. Once these oncogenes are hypomethylated, there is increased expression. Right? That means decreased expression of tumor suppressor gene, increased expression of oncogene. That, tilt the balance, leads to human malignancies. Right? To summarize DNA methylation mainly occurs in cytosine at 5th position, that becomes 5-methyl cytosine with the donor. Methyl donor is S-adenosyl methionine, right? And this function is mediated by DNA methyl transferases. And if you consider 1.5% of human genomic DNA is methylated, right? That contains methyl cytosine. So mainly methylation, that is, as I mentioned, cytosine that precedes guanine, right? Here we have several DNMTs that involves in the methylation that leads to decreased transcription. And the mechanism wise, this, the suppressed transcriptional activity is mediated by MECP2, that specifically binds to methylated DNA, and then it has other domains that can suppress transcription. And if you consider general significance or physiological significance of DNA methylation, genomic imprinting and allelic exclusion, that play a very important role. Right? Here in genomic printing, we have like H19 gene and IGF2, they are imprinting genes, and allelic exclusion during heavy and light chain rearrangement. Heavy and light chain of immunoglobulins rearrangement, either maternal, paternal, and both. Right? Here I explain how that imprinting genes are inactivated. Right? Only maternal. If maternal is active, paternal is inactive. If paternal is active, maternal will be inactive. Right? And again, that how that methylation plays important role in controlling human malignancies. If dysregulated methylation of DNA that leads to human malignancies, in that hypermethylation of tumor suppressor gene that reduces the expression of this P53, and hypomethylation of oncogenes that enhances the expression of oncogene that leads to malignancies. Right? So I'll stop here. In the next video, I'm going to talk about nucleosome modification, how nucleosome modification can regulate gene expression, especially how histones are modified either by acetylation and deacetylation that regulate gene expression. Okay?